recording. So this is Watershed Single Barrel Bourbon. This is a distillery in Ohio. This is not sourced. They make this on site. Let me confirm that. Distilled and bottled by Watershed Distillery. Because what you'll find a lot of times is these kind of, you see a label that you're not familiar with, you think it's actually something new and interesting, but actually is just private labeled from a distillery that you are very familiar with, right? But by law, they are required to say where it's distilled, right, on the label. And so a lot of
You
times,
can figure it out from there.
if you've got something that's sourced, you can kind of figure it out from there. So when it says distilled and bottled by Watershed Distillery, you know that this is not a gimmicky private label thing. It's actually a craft distillery out there in Ohio. This barrel that's 64.6%, aged for 4 years. So let's see how it is.
Smells spicy.
Right off the bat, I get like rusty water.
I get that rustiness. Yeah, there's a metallic kind of.
Yeah.
You know? Great note.
That's a great note. I would not have landed on that if you hadn't said anything.
Yeah, somebody works at a metal shop,
I should know all those smells.
Yeah, metal is a great, yeah. Now it's like all I'm getting is like pennies.
I get like a toastiness and like kind of burnt cinnamon, kind of the baking spices.
Burnt cinnamon, yeah. I was thinking cinnamon, but then I was like, what's it? It's really spicy. Maybe it's like a barrel char, like a really charred barrel or something like that.
Yeah, you definitely get
because it's yeah, something was burnt in here.
I get a bit of that burning smell and kind of like a cherry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
There's kind of like a sweet woody note that I get. Smooth, subtle. But I guess I've been smelling this for so long now that I'm
Burning your nose.
yeah, it's like a kind of like frosted pastry actually. Interesting. Kind of reminds me of like what a toaster strudel smells like. Just with the icing on it. Either way,
now that it's opened up, I get fewer of those metallic notes and more of those dark cherry notes. Like the dark cherry notes kind of, I put the glass down for a minute and came back, and now it's loaded with these dark cherry kind of Black Forest cake type desserts, right? That
ooh, Black Forest
like cherry filling, right? Like the cherry filling.
How long did you guys have yours open for? Because like I've had mine open for about 10-15 minutes. I'm wondering if I wasn't
just poured it a minute before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't getting any metallic sort of notes at all. I was kind of getting more.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Kyle, what about you? It's gone for me too.
Yeah, it's pretty well gone for me as well. But now
that's actually something we should note, I think, is that right out of the gate, there's like this metallic smell that quickly kind of dissipates or evaporates away.
Yeah.
Because it's completely different now.
Scott, when you said toasted strudel, I kind of, you helped me reach for what I was thinking about, and I think it's like Pop-Tart. You know what I mean? Like cherry Pop-Tart.
There's some kind of like sugary, bready, baked good kind of thing in there. Yeah, it's completely changed. That's amazing.
It's much better now.
Yeah, I'm wondering if I'm wondering if what it's going to be like on the palate now.
Yeah. Do we lose Kyle?
Is Kyle there?
There you go. Getting jangled.
Cheers.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
Cool.
Well, that's interesting.
It's burning going down for sure, but
so yeah, it doesn't hide its proof. This one.
Nope.
It doesn't taste too alcoholic, but it's like really punchy.
Really punchy. A lot going on the tip of my tongue.
This kind of reminds me of that, and it might just be because of the high ABV of that Alberta Premium Cask Strength.
The good one or the bad one?
The good one. The good one. The 20-year was the bad one.
I think we had a good and a bad version. It was just a different year, I thought. Can't remember if it was
Yeah, there was more than one batch. There's 2 or 3 batches.
Yeah, they're on batch 4 of the Alberta Premium Cask Strength. But they've all been very good so far. But
Second sip.
I see what you're saying, Kyle. It feels very similar to that, right?
Yeah.
Like it's got that punchiness, but without being so alcohol forward.
it's got a little bit of what we were getting on the nose, I think, but I'm also getting a lot of like medicine-y kind of flavors as well. Can't put my finger on it.
Definitely not as punchy as like after the first sip. Once you've like, destroyed your palate, it's a little easier the second and third sip.
Yeah, once it introduced itself. That's a firm handshake you get from this guy.
I put my first sip back like with no regard to the ABV. I didn't even look at it. I was like shot it back like it was a 40%er. You know what I mean? That woke me up.
This is definitely one of the ones I would say is you'd want to have when you're shoveling the driveway and it's minus 15 now. This is definitely one you would want to drink. Warms you up.
I got this interesting sensation on the first sip. It was kind of reminding me of like having a hot sauce that kind of sneaks up, where it's like nice and sweet and kind of tangy across the palate, and then you start to feel the heat. That's kind of what my first impression was.
Sneaky.
But it's settled down.
I'm getting a lot of like toasty oak, burnt cinnamon, a lot of cherry filling, dark cherry type of notes. Nothing super different from what I had on the palate, but I like it. It's a really nice finish. Like the finish is really nice.
I still get a bit of like a bitter medicine note, kind of a bitter cough syrup.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking the bitterness is the dark chocolate, but the medicinal part I get too.
Chocolate is good, yeah. Some kind of dark chocolate cherry.
The nose is fantastic now.
Yeah, that's nice.
Brown sugar.
Think it might make a nice dessert to scotch.
What's the price tag on this? We should put this in our icing.
This is I think this would be great with the icing. It wasn't cheap, it wasn't too crazy. I think like
we'll have to experiment what
USD,
tastes better.
60, 70 USD. Somewhere around there.
About $100 Canadian.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out what tastes better, a higher ABV or lower one. But yeah, you guys want to get to reviewing? I apologize. I kind of dragged us off topic a little bit.
No worries.
Yeah, we did this.
Probably Simon's
last week.
Who went last week?
Yeah. Trevor.
I'm up.
Yeah, just leading off.
To me, it's like an 83. I like those cherry notes. I mean, I kind of, from what you guys are saying, it's kind of interesting how it changed so much very quickly from like the kind of metallic-y notes, and then those disappeared. So that's kind of interesting. But I think overall it's some pleasant flavors, and especially if you're looking for something that has a bit more of a punch and some nice cherry oak kind of flavors, I think it would be for you. So 83.
Yeah.
I've
Go ahead, Scott.
I've got this at a 78. I think it's a really awesome nose. Really neat that it kind of transformed like that. I'd be interested if I'm going to come back to this later in the week, maybe and see if I get the same thing when I initially pour it. But for me, a couple points off for kind of the medicine-y kind of bitter taste that I'm not really enjoying that much. Strength wise, it you know, it doesn't pull any punches when it first hits the palate, but it becomes very smooth and easy to drink after after the first introduction. So it's enjoyable for sure, but it just didn't make it into the 80s for me just because of some of the flavor profiles that I don't enjoy too much.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like I really like this stuff. It's I like the punchy, I like the high proof, the bourbons that don't hide. I think the flavor profile is nice. I didn't get those medicine-y notes that you got out of it, Scott. So um I'm super impressed with Watershed. And actually we've got another Watershed to review probably a few months from now that I think will even blow this one out of the water. But no, I'm interested in the distillery based on this, and I want to learn more about what they do, how they do it, and try a few different barrels if I run into them along the way. I'm at 85 on it.
Yeah, I'll round it off with an 80. I don't have much more to add. Probably not one that I would reach, like I would buy, just considering the price tag, but it is enjoyable. Like I said, I think this would be good for the winter. Warming up around a fire, or ice fishing, coming in from shoveling, whatever you name it. This is, I think, a great one. It's definitely calmed down from the first sip. The first sip I had, I thought, oh boy, this is going to be, I'm going to nuke it. But it definitely rebounded. So yeah, no complaints really, but it's a solid 80, I think, for me.
Good stuff, boys. Cheers.